and gentlemen, this is the one and only DJ Skyrocket coming to you live with another exciting episode of The Fellas. You know, this is The Fellas podcast. We just got named The Fellas, but it's really everybody podcast. Because anybody can come on. Tonight, if y'all think last week conversation with these guys was a barn burner, tonight issue that we're going to be talking about, you're going to be like, oh, wow, I never saw it like this. But um, one just dropped out here. We coming back in. I got my ace boo cool, my partner in crime, next to me. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, man, I got it needs no more introductions. It's your boy. Um, they call me Soldier B in the biker world. But we here. We gonna do this again, man. Let's keep this thing moving. And tonight's gonna be another one of those shows. Some people might be interested in it. Some people might not be interested in it. But we gonna talk. So that's what I'm talking about, man. Let's get it.
All right, and then we got my little big brother is under me. Go ahead and tell everybody who you are.
Dang, I'm the little big brother. I was the big brother at one time.
You still the big dog, Tony. You still the big dog, man.
I'm big,
but I'll tell you in a sec. So my name is James Waymar. James Waymar, everybody know me as Tony. I represent One Way Electric here out of Columbia, South Carolina. And again, it's my pleasure to be here to talk amongst my peers and share my opinions and ideas and hope to reach out and, elevate somebody else. And, that's what we want to do is pass knowledge on of what, what the Gen X think. And, we don't think much about nothing.
Right. We barely think.
We barely think. We on autopilot.
At this point.
Hey, maybe to a detriment,
Yeah.
Hey, but so what I was gonna say is, my wife say, I was sitting there, I was 400 pounds, and I felt like I was a little bit of a force to be reckoned with, and now I've lost 100 pounds, and my wife said, "Oh, you ain't running that mouth so much no more."
So, you ain't pushing nobody around.
You ain't pushing nothing around no more.
That sounds like my sister.
Hey, but she see that weight loss, dog. I bet you that coop be on got dog on timing now, dog. Okay.
Oh man, I tell you, bro.
Sarah done lost. How much Sarah done lost, Tony?
Sarah lost 130, 130.
Ooh, me.
Yeah, she lost about 130.
See that?
She's a whole new woman.
Yeah. Y'all trying to relive y'all old days.
Huh?
Y'all trying to relive your old days.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. You know that.
I'm getting a slowly,
but
but
tell all the secrets, but
I'm getting a slowly, but I'm coming.
You see, you don't want to. I tell any and everybody the journey we took to do it. We took it because of our age and the condition our health was in, and it was important for us to make that not just a change in diet, but make a dramatic change in lifestyle. So I would tell anybody gastric bypasses, gastric bypass and the SADie that my wife has. These are they basically go inside your guts with a blender and tear it up. So and things, I have not had a decent meal in 5 months. How longer than that actually. I had a decent meal about this year really. Because it's a long process and you have to be committed to it. And once you lay on that table and get it done, there's no going back. There's no sneak day, cheat day. There's no cheat day because you get sick if you try to cheat. Yeah.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as y'all can see, our fourth member of our podcast is running a little bit late. He got some family duties and stuff he has to take care of, but he's going to be coming in. But tonight's topic, we got two topics we're going to talk about tonight, and we're going to try to keep it to these two topics. But as we know, we've men, and we seem to stray off sometimes. But the first subject we're going to talk about minimum wage. Minimum wage. Do you think, with the cost of living and the price of groceries going up, do you think the minimum wage should be raised across the board, and should it be a national minimum wage instead of like different states have different minimum wage?
Well, I guess I'll go in first on this one right here. Um, Honestly, I believe this right here. Anytime for any thriving economy or any thriving, if we're gonna thrive as a people in an economy, um, I really believe that your wages, if there's a GDP every year, a number that we look at every year. So what's the gross domestic product? How well are we doing? How many jobs have been added? If we're gonna keep looking at those figures on the big scale, then I think we need to look at the figures on the thing that drives those numbers to that percentage. So if businesses aren't, don't, as greedy, if the businesses stay away from these greedy policies and being, being as greedy as they are, like, oh man, we're doing more with less, we got more coming in, but then you still don't want to give your employees that pay bump or that raise or whatever to try to keep up with an economy. If your business is thriving in an economy right now and really thriving in an economy, even though I know the business takes some expenditures on the back end. Okay, I understand that, but it's not an excuse to exclude the employees that make the business happen. Because honestly, employees are not looking for a whole lot at times. You know what I mean? It's not like they're looking for I need to be paid, with $5 extra an hour or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that the individual businesses need to look at what their state looks like how they're, how well they're doing, and then look at your employees and be like, well, you know what, we're still doing pretty good in this economy, and be able to give them something, but it's being honest with the employees. Like, you'd be like, look, if y'all can stick with us though, because if it's one thing that employees have, a lot of good employees too, because we don't like change as people that work in the workforce. So we don't like that change, because change is like, now I got to start a whole new one. I'm starting from the bottom again, and now where I'm going to be. So we have dedication to these companies, especially when you invest your time and how many ever years you invested in that company. So, I look at it like it really is. It should be in the hands of the company, not to be greedy. But if they're making money still in a bad economy, if they're making that money, I think that they should spread that wealth to the employees also. Even if you don't have to increase the minimum wage, if you just pay $1,000 stipend or something to them, what I'm saying? Give them something like, well, we're gonna pay you $1,000 stipend here in the middle, for these 6 months, and then we're gonna pay you another 500, or another 1,000 around Christmas time. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep them employees engaged, because that's $2,000, which is not a whole lot in this society, but at those times it kind of helps, especially when we start hitting Christmas, when people really start to bleed. Everybody wants everything for their families, and their kids, and all that other stuff. So I believe it's up to the companies. I don't think that there should be a government that has to come in on the backside and say, hey, everybody needs to be paid $22 an hour, regardless of what they do, because that's not even reasonable at all in certain companies. So,
Well, hold on, Tony. Before you go, let me give y'all some numbers. So the federal minimum wage is $7.25, but as of April 2024, it was reported, and you can Google this stuff. It was reported that the minimum wage in Georgia, which is our neighbor to the south, minimum wage is $5.15.
Can't be.
That's but
because minimum wage.
Google it says
whatever you're reading from, that's not
accurate.
That's not accurate. Don't read
it
that.
says
they cannot pay you less than
you can't pay less than
federal
federal mandate.
And I'm reading off of Google.
No, you cite your source of where on Google you're reading that, because the federal minimum standard is the 725.
This is the AI this is the AI overview.
Oh, so you're getting this, so the artificial intelligence is telling you this.
Yes. I'm reading from the AI.
It's something funny about that, because that can't be true.
Because that's a big lawsuit. That's a lawsuit.
Federal. Now the only people who don't have to pay that are people who are in the tip. They make tips.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I know in South Carolina, I know in Columbia.
Yeah.
And I can talk about Columbia.
Yeah.
The place that I do karaoke.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the name of the business, but their bartenders get paid $3 an hour.
Stop, though. Hey, wait a minute, though. But they're taking home $200-$300 a night
on a good night
in tips.
On a good night.
So that's fair. That's fair.
And like I was saying, I said each individual business, really, you got to kind of look at, if you're in that whatever industry it is, but each individual business has got to make that decision. It shouldn't be left in the hands of anybody else to say, well, this is what everybody should be paid exactly. You know what I mean? And then the IRS come after you or not come after you. All that right there. Each individual company should operate as their own small little entity because it's your company.
Okay. Lewis Evans just said the same thing I said. It said the state of Georgia is 515, but the federal is 725.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to see how that's
happening. But okay, let's look at the flip side of that. California.
But hold on.
Something.
So 515, we got the only way we can really make this make sense, though, Rocket. Only way we can make this make sense is to look at the business at the end. Let's see where that 515
is applied. Paying 515. That might be a business like waiter. They make tips. Yeah, that's a great increase.
We just look at those businesses like that, Tony, just a waiter or a waitress, or we look at just those businesses, but if you're making $5.15 an hour, first of all, if that's all, what the minimum wage is, you stick with the job, of course, because there's an incentive somewhere. Maybe they got the best healthcare benefits on the planet or whatever. We don't know. So really, each business has got to outline that plan, and the employee takes that. So maybe if there's $5.15 there, maybe the extra $2 is going towards. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to pay as much when you go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we don't know how these, what business policies and how they implement these policies to really know. So only way we can really find this out is we need people to come in, call in, chat, put it in the chat if, or whatever. But we really don't know. It's kind of hard to know, what the business is doing and how they are, using these funds, paying people, you know what I mean? Because hell, they can go to China and get, stuff built for cheap, you know what I mean? But this is America, you know what I'm saying? This is America, so there are laws that protect the worker. So
I would say that 515 has to be. There's some subsidies in there somewhere. There's something in there we don't know. Or that's not being generated on that field that you read from. Demon, what's your take on minimum wage?
I think I haven't worked a job where I got paid minimum wage in a long time. Knock on wood. Knock on wood, because knock on wood. So I think it is low. I think 725 is low. Even if you're a college, even if you're a high school student, I think 725 is too low. Because for the simple fact, like I said earlier, I went to Publix today with my mom to go get some ice cream and some other stuff. And the prices on the stuff in Publix are it's crazy. And I thought it was just Publix, but it's not just Publix. Walmart prices are going up. We watching the price of gas, and while we're watching the price of gas, the prices of groceries going up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, but you got to think the people who's making that federal minimum wage, those are your well-to-do people.
and they don't know. I bet you one of them can't even tell you how much a gallon of milk is because they got somebody probably that go to the store and buy their milk for them. They don't know.
But I tell you this, I mean, like you said, that's the
I'm not
well.
gonna say
Huh?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead. No, go
No,
ahead,
no,
go
no,
ahead, go ahead, bro.
no. I just didn't agree with what he said. That's all.
You
Yeah,
disagree with what I'm saying?
I mean, we can't say like
Yeah,
a
I
well-to-do or like there's. I honestly don't believe that there's a like a well-to-do. We talk about well-to-do. We don't know what well-to-do is right now because there are
Mhm.
people who were making great money
And
that
struggling
live
like hell.
paycheck to paycheck,
That's right.
just like the person that's got a small, a smaller job, not making as much. So it's affected all sides of the economy, not just the we say well-to-do. Well-to-do is just a term. It doesn't mean anything. We don't even use the term well-to-do anymore because really there's a separation of class right now, and you have the ultra rich, which is a real class, and then you have everybody else. Because no matter what you make, there are people that make $200,000 a year and just waiting on that next paycheck.
Yeah.
Because of all they base their spending years and years and years. They base their spending on an economy that was booming. Everything, we were doing a lot better, so their tastes are a little bit different. They have to readjust their taste like everybody else, but everybody always has to bite the bullet and take a step back and sit down, and we got to do less, make more with less. And that's the kind of the economy that we in, this do more with less economy, which is really kind of killing everybody.
Yeah.
Even anybody that you would have considered to be well-to-do at that point. So that's not really a term that I think that is even a factual term anymore. There are no well-to-do because we can already see the two classes have already been separated, and you really do have the have and the have-nots, because people make a lot of money and they really, really, really still live for that next paycheck, and that's what keeps their family going. So so that term is not really I don't think that's a real term, as far as what the economy looks like today. For whatever reason, what's going on right now, everybody's facing these hardships. These prices are crazy, and everybody sees it.
And it kind of does, like you say, it kind of doesn't matter what economic situation you in, unless you making millions of dollars. Everybody of every walk of life is struggling. Just because you walk, you go in the Shandon area and you see these big houses, and automatically you think somebody who lives in that house is not struggling. You're a fool.
You're a fool. Yes,
you can't think like that. Oh, just because they got more real estate than you, that means they're paying a great deal to be there. You don't know. You never know what it took for a person to have what they have. Are you going to do what they did to get what they got?
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, many people will not. And
are you willing to maintain? Are you willing to maintain that lifestyle? And that's where I think a lot of people fall behind. They want to maintain that lifestyle. It's like, well, we're used to this. You know what I mean?
From a business owner, bro. I'm telling you, and I know you can relate to it because you done seen your dad. Hey, take it from me. I got people who work for me making more than me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
To sustain your business. Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you this.
Absolutely.
Is the narrative supposed to be that way?
You see the thing. Oh, I'm a business owner. Yeah, but I got people. I got people who rely on me to make those sacrifices, and it's not a sacrifice because I'm gonna pay you. If I hire a man and we talk about what you gonna make, I'm gonna make sure he gets paid first.
Right.
I'm not they ain't gotta come look for me on Friday because they know they're gonna get paid. I don't give a damn if I got to go. They don't know where it comes from. They don't know if my contractor paid me like they're supposed to or not. But I'm gonna go. Either I'll go to my bank and borrow the money, or either I'm gonna make the sacrifice, to make sure they are paid. And eventually, yes, I do get mine. That's why I'm in business. Eventually, I do get it, but it's so far in the future. Man, I might get, but good thing about me working for the state, and when I was working for the state, I was getting paid once a month. So, hey, That teaches you discipline. Getting
Mm.
paid once a month,
Mhm.
you learn discipline with money.
Oh yeah.
You are
Oh, yeah.
very disciplined with money. And so I'm used to it. I get paid, from this job right here. I get paid once a month. And it's not a great deal, but the deal is that, hey, I'm a whoop-de-doo, I'm a business owner,
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Hey,
Tony,
you can talk to your dad and he'll tell you.
we be waiting on January.
Hey, what make you what make you even matter? What make you even matter is they don't do what they supposed to do, and you got to go out there and do the work.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh shit!
But I tell you this though, come January, that's what the business owners be waiting on. All right, man, it's January. We got to go see the IRS now. So
Yeah, shit.
y'all owe me.
Here.
Y'all, y'all owe me
taxes. Oh, we don't even want to talk about taxes, man, because the taxes, bruh. Oh man, they pound you now. It's
yeah.
They pound you.
Yeah. They pick a time to audit you when they want.
Did y'all read what Lewis put on there? I highlighted it.
Yeah, it's on the okay. Oh, in Atlanta?
Yeah. So he said,
yeah.
In Atlanta, it was. So he was talking
yeah.
from actual. It is 515, but he was the W6 or whatever.
Yeah, WG6. Yeah, that's
what?
That's your government type, like your W's, your government titles. So these numbers determine where you are on the pay scale. It's like rank in the military. So that's what that's what it is. So
I never knew what my WG whatever was.
If you'd never worked for the you've never had a government job,
government
job. But that's kind of like what that is, right?
So
there. But you can correct me too, Lewis, if I'm wrong. But yeah,
so I'm glad I listened to you, Barrett and Clyde. I listened to y'all first because you really brought compassion into how I felt about it, and I had to hear y'all. And I wish Show was here so I could hear his take on it also.
Oh, he coming.
I'm very hard about that. Okay, because my thing is, minimum wage is not a living wage,
right?
And it's not made for you to go and take a job that you absolutely know you can't live off of, and then you say, "Well, I have to." Well, you also, you got, and I'm gonna say this because my mom is blind. I have my mom, my uncles, my two uncles, and I have another uncle. And I come from a community of blind people who are handicapped. And these handicapped people are educated, and
it's not blind, it's visually impaired.
It's blind, brother. I'm however you want to say it. I'm Gen X. Don't give me that. All right. So they're blind, okay? Cannot see. I come from a blind community, and even my wife's parents, they inclined, Demon knows them also. They had visual impairments too. Look at that. You made me change. I apologize. So being said that, they were pretty successful in what they did. They held businesses. They went to college. Not all of them went to college, but they worked.
Exactly.
And they didn't have to work minimum wage jobs because they went out and they got a skill. So you can't tell me this is the only job I could take. And this is how I was feeling before now. You can't tell me this is the only job I'm going to take. And
this kind of piggybacks on the last podcast too, man. But go ahead and finish. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It does. It does.
You can't tell me this is the only job you're going to you can take when you have opportunity, especially now, guys. I mean, can you imagine? Come on, y'all. Can you imagine if we had this technology when we were in school? Bro, I'll be a millionaire right now. I want to say if I could go back in time and hand myself this phone right here,
Oh my goodness.
I'd have dropped out of
my
school.
goodness.
I'd have told them y'all wasting y'all damn time.
Like, you gonna give me a pager? What I'm gonna do with this pager? I got this.
Kids can't teach me shit.
A pager.
And so the opportunity to educate, develop a skill, and make more money is always in front of you. Always in front of you. And I love the YouTube community and how influencers are making money. Crazy as it may be sometimes, I love it because what are they doing? They have developed a skill where they can go and make more money than if they stood at, went to work at one of these, corporate companies. And I'm with you, Barrett. Do away with minimum wage.
Yeah, honestly.
Sounds ugly? Do away with it.
You know why? You pay a man for what they're worth.
Because people have got to stand up and say, I can't accept that.
Yes.
Now I will come in like me. When I started my job as a furniture technician at Colonial Life, I was making, I think minimum wage was $4.35 then, right? So I go in there, I'm making $4.35. I'm happy to even have a job. I'm young, but with that money, economy was different. With that money, what was I able to do, Demon? Had my own apartment, had a car payment. I took care of a chick who didn't want to do shit with her life. I made sure food was on the table every night. Now, did I have money to do anything else? No, I didn't have money to do anything else, but I was surviving. It's virtually impossible right now. That's an impossibility to say you're gonna go out here and get a job at a corporate company who's gonna pay you the minimum wage. That is a waste of your time.
It is.
Waste of your time. Now, if you go in, because when I went in, I made minimum wage, but I had to improve my situation. You got to improve your situation. I did not become content with the money that I was making.
Right.
You can't be content with that. You have to improve. Now, if you work in that job, I don't give a damn if you are a cook back there slinging hamburgers. If I become the best hamburger slinger back there, once I manage that skill of making that for people, do I deserve? Yes, get paid more money. And if they don't pay you more money, guess what you do?
Get your ass on.
Get your ass on.
That's right. Hey, but the thing is, too, you got to know your value.
And people,
absolutely.
A business, and take it from me, take it from Bear's daddy. A business does not operate without people.
Right.
I cannot operate without people.
Valuable asset.
I got guys who know how to turn a screwdriver, how to put wires together. They may not know all the technicalities behind it, like I've spent 25 years knowing. No, they don't know all of that stuff, but they can execute what I asked them to execute
flawlessly,
effectively, and efficiently. So guess what I have to do? When they come knocking on that, what I got to do, Barry? You got to pay them what they ask for.
Hey, man,
I got to pay them.
I got you. I got to keep you around.
I got to pay them around. Because what did they do? When they improved their situation, now the problem becomes they start getting stupid. They start to get to think that they know. They start they don't cut corners. They start to think that they can run.
That's the bit. Now that's that issue.
Now we got
that issue. That's that.
Now
issue.
I might as well tell you, hey, walk on.
Pew. Really?
Be out. I will start from ground zero with another person.
Somebody that's willing to learn.
Somebody that's willing to learn.
But that's in all aspects of business like that.
So,
because you can
in other words, you're telling them to be humble. Sit down.
Yeah, be humble. Be humble.
Once you when you got somebody like me, I'm sorry. When you got somebody like me who will sit at the negotiating table, I will sit down and I will listen to you. I will evaluate your work. But now if I see a bunch of cracks in your work, especially when I got to put boots on, When I gotta put my boots on, get in my truck, and go do what you were supposed to do, bro, don't even talk to me. You shouldn't be talking to me.
Let me tell you this right here, though, Tony. Let me tell you this right here. That goes a long way through a lot of different disciplines, because you'll have people that will actually be, you'll be in the company for a while, and you like, I know my stuff. Once you get your stuff down and you know enough to keep moving, keep rolling, and then all of a sudden the company gets greedy or whatever. Now they bring some other people in that pay them less, but they want you to train them. So this becomes an issue, and I see this so much. Like it's like a historic thing that just keeps repeating itself all the time. You know what I mean? So now you training the person that you know is going to take your job, and they're going to be paying you less. Now you as a person, this is where I put my foot in the sand. This is exactly where I put my foot in the sand, because my previous job dealt with a lot of high pressure systems and a lot of, it was
hazardous,
500 hazardous conditions, that could
yes.
really cause harm to everybody else that's not involved in, So my step on that was like, well, you know what? I know where this is headed. I see the path. I've seen it throughout my life. I've seen the path where it's headed. Okay. But if you put this person with me, I'm definitely going to train them 100%. And I'm trying to give them everything that I know in the limited time that I have, because I know I'm going to be gone, here shortly, because I already know what the company's doing at this time. But once they get proficient enough, but if they're proficient enough, I want them to be as proficient as I am, or as best as I, everything that I can give them, because I'm not greedy like that. And I hope that because they're making less money than I was, but I want them to be the same. I want them to get that same. I want them to pass the same thing on too, because we don't know if you're going to be in that position later on to where now you training somebody else for a job, they get ready to take your job. You know what I mean? And they need the professionals,
Exactly.
So
because all companies are looking for the next thing. If they can hire Joe Blow to do your job at a lesser rate, Joe Blow gonna get that job, and you might be out the door.
And I like to look at it too, because it's politics in that. It's politics in the job. You got the brothers do things, and you got the brothers do things.
Depends on the company, like you say. It depends on the company you work for, because if you, not just with your years of service, but if you have displayed the skill, the fortitude, the loyalty, the dedication over the years at that job, bruh, don't fear. Like me, they brought people in, wanted me to train them. You think I feared losing my job? I did not fear losing.
Here you go.
I didn't fear losing my job. You know why? Because they not gonna do what I do.
That's right.
They couldn't do what I do, and I knew. And so the funny thing is, guys will say, "Oh, you just training them to replace you, bruh." I have more than one skill. I'm showing him how to do. I'm showing this guy how to operate on a 250-ton chiller. Oh, but you forgot, I do data. I'm doing network stuff, desktop support. I'm working on electricity. I'm working on high voltage stuff, live wires and stuff. I'm doing more than what. Hell, I'm even cleaning the bathrooms, huh?
Yes, sir.
If custodian didn't show up, guess what? I got to fill in, because the bathroom. When you working with 1,800 women, bathroom got to be clean.
But Tony, the same thing,
they can't make it. Guess what? I turned from electrician to janitor. Did I cry about more money?
Right, you got to be able to move around in that.
I didn't cry about more money, man. I was going to establish. See, my problem was not a problem. I thought I was going to retire. I can tell you, boy, you couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was going to retire from that company. I did. Yeah. Over dedication. I thought I was important. I thought I was very important until the time came.
Somebody told you
for advancement. No, I've never been fired now. For advancement.
No, I'm talking about when somebody told you showed
Look
you
at
that
this
you
here.
wasn't
Look
important?
at this here.
Yeah, they showed me I wasn't important. Well, they showed me they didn't value me enough. And so what did I do? Okay. Once I completed my education, once I passed my master license and did what I had to do, and I had, so I'm the only guy on the team with a college education and a master license in electricity. And I never said I knew more than anybody else on my team because those guys trained me. It's just that I read a book. I read a book and took a test and passed it. Bam. That's all. That's how I got it. Right. Test hard as hell. Hours to complete.
Able.
I passed it. Right.
Yes.
So I'm not looking. I wasn't looking to be more than what they were, but I had the qualifications to be the next assistant manager. And when they sat me down and gave it to somebody who was a clown, I knew what? It's time for me to
Geo.
Hey, you woke and go. You go. That's what you do. That's what you do at these. That's what you do. I had developed a career. I made what I do. I developed a career, and I was confident to walk out the door with my head. Because hey, I'm telling you, once you learn something and you got a skill at it, believe me, you could take it somewhere else. I wouldn't give a damn if I had to move out of South Carolina. I would have. I wasn't gonna settle for less because I knew myself.
Right, well, hey, well, let me pose a question. I'm gonna pose a question to you guys right here, both of you guys right here. All right, and we kind of touched on this, I guess, the last podcast too. That skill that you have. Now, let's look at a world. Let's take the world back. We'll go 40 years, 50 years. Let's take the world back 50 years when really there was no Amazon, there wasn't no a lot of the technological advancements that we have right now in our lives that make things a lot easier. And a lot of people make a lot of money just being online. There wasn't no influencers back then to make money.
What is an influencer anyway?
Well, but I'm just saying there wasn't no influencers. There wasn't these people. A lot of the money machine.
The money you ain't got that education.
Man, hush.
The money machine is now flipped. Now, because back then we had to rely on skills because we came from a time and an era to where you had to have a know-how to be able to do things. Like we actually were. Most people that agriculturally, we all knew people that grew food or were a part of a family that grew their own food, or the kids coming out there to pick watermelons in the field at whatever time, what I'm saying. So we actually had this generational thing that was happening, and then it's like the tap water turned off. It was like it was flowing. We was producing our own stuff. We were honestly, politics wasn't even a real thing for a lot of people. The overreach wasn't there. So people were kind of living their lives and still living their lives. But then we got to the point where now the certificates, that paperwork that you have, everything that now you need to have this to be able to do this. This certificate says that you are a professional in this or a professional in this. When some of our best and greatest engineering minds came from, they didn't have to have that paper and all that. So let me go ahead and put my question out there. So do you guys believe that, and like I said, this was like from the last podcast, but since we was talking about minimum wage and this kind of affects that also, is a trade probably one of the best things that you can learn if the scenario happens to repeat itself to where everything goes dark on the planet at some point, where there's, we don't have AI and all this other stuff to be able to. So is a trade the best thing to learn, or is that paper in college?
I think everyone should learn a trade.
That certification. So,
and that's just me personally. I think everyone should learn at least a trade or learn a part of a trade. Now you have those overachievers that learn more than one trade, but I think somebody needs to learn at least one trade.
Yes. So, bruh, let me tell y'all. When I say these high schools are failing, we said this before, school is failing, the students, the young people. You parents out there, I'm gonna just go ahead and you failing your children. You a damn fool to believe that this thing will ever go out of style. This,
yes, sir. My
Bro.
bad. But yeah.
this ain't gonna never go out of style. You'll make money.
What is that?
It's
What
a screw.
is that?
It's
Is that a hammer?
It's a screwdriver. Hey, let me tell you, you'll never. This right here, you learn to work this with these, and this.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never, you wouldn't have minimum wage problems. But you sit there and believe that every child is going to be a doctor. Every child is not going to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever you are, influencer, whatever you think a millionaire is supposed to be. Bro, even millionaires have problems.
Yep.
Money ain't having all the money in the world don't solve problems. Security is what you need to give your young people. And let me tell you, the trades, that's security. Hey, heating and cooling ain't gonna never run out. You're gonna drive a car, right? Huh? And now nobody can afford cars. So guess what? Now we short on mechanics now. Oh my God, I can't get my car fixed. You know why? Because you told your kids, they told me in high school too, Bear. They told me in high school, you put on a tool belt, you stupid. So I graduated out of high school. I'm sitting in there learning accounting. And this shit boring as hell. I don't want to do this, Mama. Mama, I don't want to. I'm sitting in the Lieutenant Governor Peeler's office. When the State House was being redone, we were sitting in the Carolina Motel across the street. Carolina Hotel. And I was sitting up there and I'm watching every day. I'm going in and I'm watching the world. I'm watching a building being tore down and built up next to me. And I'm watching the world go by. Oh, but I'm working for Lieutenant Robert Peeler's office. Fuck that. Excuse my language.
Nah, bro, go say what
but
you got.
That's boring. Sitting at that desk, that ain't my thing. Now, for some people it is. But I was not sitting there having an impact on anyone. So I'm not impacting anyone. So I'm bored. Bruh, learning that trade. You know what they say? What do they say during the DNC? We got to build more houses so we can get the price of housing to go down. You damn right. Who y'all think building houses? Oh, y'all think the Mexicans just walk across the border and they know how to build a house? Nope. They just know, hey, they just do the labor. But guess what? You got to have somebody who know how to do it. All we doing is you telling the people who come here, they not coming here with a skill. They coming here and they are learning the skill. They're coming here and they're learning the skill because
this where I'm gonna have to derail the train though. This is where I got to derail the train. Because we're not talking about who's coming here, who's not coming. This brings us back into
I'm saying people are that's in the community.
That's
what people say. They coming over here stealing the job. Shit, you ain't gonna do it. We got to get somebody to do it.
But I'm still saying this brings us back on the political side. That's a polarized side. So we're gonna leave that out.
I'm just saying that
because I don't agree 100% with what you're saying on that. That's polarizing. That's polarizing right there.
I understand, but the jobs, the career, the trade.
Because we gotta let people speak for their own. We gotta let people speak from their own what they believe, what they see. We got to let them speak because, like, we don't see what everybody else sees. There's some people that see things that we don't see. So, we got to leave that. I'm
amongst the community every day. I'm amongst the community every day. And so what I say again is the trades. Man, we so short on plumbers right now, y'all, and y'all would not believe. You know what a plumber can make right now? A certified plumber can make right now. He can make about $50 an hour.
He can make
he can be a millionaire in no time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We so short on plumbers? Huh?
Why you raising your hand, Rocket? Get in.
You raising your hand for?
Cause I know how to do plumbing. I just don't like messing around people.
Oh, you know what your problem is? Y'all better start hiring qualified people to do work and stop hiring them people who ain't qualified. But I'm telling you, the trades, well, I'm telling you, don't fail your
Yo, what's going on, man?
Oh, we got Show in the building. Show is in the building. Show is in the building. Show is in the building. First, I got one thing to say about Show. How about them yellow jackets?
Hey, he ain't even talking. I wasn't gonna even say nothing. I was, you know, when that went down yesterday, I said I thought about Show and I said, oh shit, I said today I won't even talk about that. But that punk mug right there, that punk mofo right there, he had to open his damn mouth. Oh, hey, you might as well talk politics to that man. Leave that shit alone. We ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about what we talking about.
How about? And the only reason I'll tell y'all, or do we go back to what we were talking about? The only reason I said that, the line on the game was 10. My homeboy called me at 11:50.
Hey man, we ain't
11:45 and said, "Listen, did you get your bet in on the Florida State Georgia Tech game?" I said, "Dog, I forgot." And I tried to get my bet in on Bovada, and it wouldn't take my bet. So I said, "I hope them motherfuckers league. I ain't got my bet in." Thank you, Thank you.
But hey, you know,
but if I would got my bet in, I would
also mention this about life skills, also to go with them trades. Hey, you know, I don't know about y'all, but I had home ec.
Yeah.
When I was in class.
Yeah.
When I was you know, I had home ec, typing. I had. You know,
I ain't gonna lie. I took home ec. I took home ec at Lower Richard because that's where all the gals was. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, and we were trying to out the
dinner. We had to get dressed. I remember we went to S&S cafeteria, and we had to be dressed down that day, and we had to, you know, act accordingly, eat correctly. We were taught those things. And of course, the rest of my life skill, my mama beat the hell out of me. So,
hey, hold on.
That's called drilling it. Drill that into you, man.
Yeah. Oh, it was drill.
Drill that into
you. Yeah. Go ahead and you know, my mama would. You know, I lie to y'all not. I lie to y'all not. You know, I tell you, my mom told me.
Everybody know who I am. This your boy, the show. You know what I'm saying? 1/4 of this good old podcast here. I'm in here now. Running a little late. Had a family function to go to today, and everything like that. But I've been listening. I hear you guys. I'm liking the conversation. The thing about it, Tony, I done told folks about this young cats, what you saying about the trade thing and everything like that. Tony, he do hit on a point to a certain extent, but I have talked to some guys, Tony, that they already was doing this in their country they came from. Some of them didn't come over here and learn it from us. They already knew it, and they learned it over there. But you know, especially with the carpentry part of it, because those are the guys I done talked to. I haven't talked to none of them doing air conditioning and refrigeration and nothing like that. I talked to some guys that, you know, learned carpentry in South America and Mexico and everything like that. They just felt it was better opportunity over here for do it. And one of the reasons is because, and I told another guy this, that, you know, he's a 28-year-old dude. And I told him, I said, your generation is the reason for the immigration problem. And he said, what do you mean? I said, do you want to swing a hammer? He said, no. I said, do you want to lay bricks? He said, no. I said, do you want to learn plumbing work? He said, no. And I said, see, we still need those jobs done in America, and no American kids want to do those jobs. I mean, some of them do, but not to the number that we needed to be done. And then they don't want to do it because it's considered hard work. It's hot. It's this. It's that. They want way more than what some people are willing to pay them. So the demand was there, but the subcontractors and the builders and stuff like that didn't want to pay the wage they wanted to pay, so they had to go find cheaper labor. So Tony, it's a little bit of both.
Well,
It ain't that they didn't want to do it,
yeah,
and the ones that did want to do it,
yeah.
the builders, and because Hegel right here, and Tony, you can speak on this him. And Barrett and them, especially Barrett, no, I don't know shit about swinging a hammer. I can swing it because it's a nail right there and I can hit it and knock it down. I know what that means. But I can become a contractor to build a house. I don't have to do none of the work myself. I can just sub it all out. All I got to do is go get a license and get settled, because I could deal with jobs all the time. It's a builder out there from a company, but he don't get dirty.
That's right.
Mhm.
It's all subbed out, to where back in the day, you would have a contractor that went and he actually did something. Even to this point now, those guys don't do nothing.
Jay, no, sir. JC Holster, you right, brother. You right. That my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, show. But yeah, you right. JC Holston, bro.
They don't do nothing, so they need everything is subcontract out, because now me and my wife is looking into getting a house and stuff like that. But it's like the builder, the company you go get to build your house, they don't do nothing. They have all subcon everything. They sub out who grades off your property. They sub out who comes out and does the plumbing work. They sub out who frames it up. Subs out who does the electrical work. The company itself, and you remember back in the day, a construction company had equipment. They had equipment there on their lot and everything like that. They don't have that stuff no more. Now all they got is an office.
Yeah.
I say this, show. I say this right here. I know exactly what you're talking about. Where you coming from with that? Because because we know what it's like to build a house from the ground up.
Yeah.
Like all the brothers, all my dad's brothers, they actually were a company together. They went from grading the land, chopping down trees, grading the land, all the way
they did the subcontract work, they did the plumbing work,
building the house,
the electrical work.
Every last one of them had a trade.
They rebuilt our house after the fire.
Every last one of them had a trade. Like honestly, like they have a trade, and that's the thing that I try to pull from, and maybe my brother, and then some of the others around there. But they have a trade because they had every single thing that you needed. If you wanted your bathroom redone, they still got that. But they'll take everything out, put in vinyl. They still, that trade that they had was kind of like the ground that I walked on with them, seeing it, because they didn't have to subcontract anything out, because they actually had every single tool they needed in the tool belt.
Yeah.
So that was like one of the coolest things I'd seen, and I don't see families with that. I don't see a lot of families with that structure. Just like you said, show. A lot of stuff going on.
They are families out there. You meet a lot of guys out there, a lot of builders that I know. They teach their children who want to do it. They teach
absolutely
their children who want to do it. So now so I was taking my orders from this guy, but he's went to the office, and now his son is the superintendent, and because he's learned it from his father. But again, why did he learn it from his father? It's a lucrative business.
So but what I'm saying, but you're right. You're right, Show. Let me tell you one of the greatest things I ever did. When I went and I got this right here. When I sat down, I didn't know at the time when I passed that exam,
I didn't know what that exam meant to me. But you know what? This stayed in my tool pouch a whole lot more. I was touching it less. What was I doing? I was giving orders now. I was telling people. I was directing people. Now they're looking at me for the answers. Lo and behold, they didn't know. Shit, I'm fresh at this. I don't know what I'm doing. But
Tony,
because I got the responsibility of this right here, now they
What
look
happened
at
to Jared? Jared was on stage. What happened?
Yeah.
But Tony, you got them. You went and got that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I did. And don't get me wrong, you earned that. But you have a whole generation that they want to come out the gate. They want to come out the gate being the boss.
And it's not. Well, see, that's the thing. You know, I got a young man in who came to work with us. He didn't go to school. He started from ground zero. I remember we were paying him. We were paying him minimum wage because he didn't know anything, but he stuck with it.
Now but see, he's what I call an outlier.
Yeah, he's that outlier. Yeah,
a majority of them, Tony, they want to be, when they graduate high school, they figure, hell, when they graduate college, they want to jump into, they get a rude awakening when they go into the real world because they want to come out of college being a boss.
Yeah.
They don't want to get their hands.
It don't work like that. It's not designed like that.
But see, that's what they've been told. That's what they've been told them. They've been told. They've been told.
Yes.
They've been told, go to college, spend this money, go to college. You will come out making X, Y, Z. You will be a boss. You will be this. You will have people. It don't work like that though. But that's what the lie they've been fed to go to college.
It don't.
I can attest to that. I can attest to that.
That's the lie they've been fed.
Do you know where I started before I got this? Do you know the shit I went through to get there?
That's what I'm saying, Tony. You done through the mud. You done been through the mud. Yeah. You done been through the mud, and now you done came up. But like I'm saying, they have been fed a lie that just go to college, get this degree, you will come out on top. You will be a boss. You will have these cars. And they think that shit true.
Hey, so let me speak on that one. So yeah, y'all give me a second. Let me speak on that one. Fellas. How y'all doing tonight? First of all,
what's up now?
Shit, chilling. But yeah. As a younger generation, I watch y'all niggas grow up before I grew up. I was a little when y'all was coming up, but like that's even in my generation. That's what you told. You go to college and get your degrees and all that shit. And I got 3 degrees. You know what I'm doing now? I'm a dispatcher. I love the job. I'm just getting into it. I love the job. I love getting these boys out. I get shit from the salesman, but when I talk to these people who are actually working these jobs, these boys who are right out there in the thick of it, and I can have a decent conversation with them. Ain't no salesman making promises and all that, and I'm learning the boundaries between that. Like, yo, stop telling them this shit when you can't do it. When I talk to these boys, I understand. This is what's going on. I'm talking to them. I'm like the mediator between a lot of this shit. But I got 3 fucking degrees, and that's what they told me in high school. I should have been running a whole lot of shit, but I'm not that. You know, that's not what you getting. Like they tell you that, they were telling you that. I don't know where it is now, and that's why I agree with what y'all were talking about earlier with the trades, because the trades are where you at. The trades, honestly, at some point in time, you can almost, I ain't gonna say name your price, but you guarantee good shit with the trades because you can't be replaced.
That's right. Today, you can't name your price.
Yeah, you can't be replaced.
You can't be replaced because, there's nobody else waiting for your job.
No. It's not.
There's nobody waiting for your job.
I
can't find nobody.
Hey, well, all right. Hold on, Jared. While you here, last week we was talking about the military and the selling points from the recruiter to get you to go into the military. Show said that they told him if he joined the military, he can tour the world. He can see the world. And he can get out of whatever he was in. He can get out the community he was in. What was the military selling point, the recruiter selling point on you? What did they tell you to get you to want to join?
All right, well, for me, because I scored high as shit on my ass, Bab. So I had every branch of the military trying to lock me in. The Marines came at me. We can get you on a nuclear sub. Scratch that. I don't want to be on a sub. First of all, black. I want to fight you, chance. I can swim, but I want to fight you, chance if the sub go down. But not. But the army was like, we got planes. The army ain't had no goddamn planes. My best choice would have been the army because the guy offered me warrant officer. I could have went straight out of high school as a warrant officer, so I'd have been just below your regular officers, but above enlisted with that stuff. But he didn't sell it good enough. The Air Force came and said the only thing you don't qualify for is to be a rocket scientist. I was like, cool, but oh shit, what's the noise? I can't hear.
There
Static.
he is.
Oh no,
Well, we
but
got you. Go
yeah,
ahead.
but I was bad as fuck in high school. Everybody know that shit, like banging, all that shit. So I was trying to catch the first thing smoking. The first thing smoking was the Air Force. But what happened to me in the Air Force was we
Yeah.
got all these amazing jobs. I could have been intel, anything I wanted to be besides a rocket scientist, but I had to wait. The first thing smoking out of here was air crew egress, working ejection systems, egress systems, and there is nothing that translate to the real world once you get out of that job.
Yeah, because that system is to
It's strictly
specialize.
military. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, well, well,
Well,
well,
let's go. Let's
well,
go.
but you still would have, I think here, like, some of the aircraft companies, that not that system, but in similar circumstances, I figure that, you probably could, I would sit here and say, doesn't that exist at Boeing or SpaceX or some bullshit?
Well, I can put it like this. There's one company I think who strictly manufactures and maintains those systems. Or that's one company they work with. I think I'm past the statute of limitations and shit. If I remember, it wasn't BF Goodrich. It was a fucking. Sorry, I'm cousin. I don't want to kill the podcast for the kids,
No,
but
no, you good. You good.
but it was one company managed all of the air crew egress systems. But the thing is, there's this one company that had one good place they were at because I worked with some of those guys back at Shaw where they were trying to modify the air crew, where they're trying to modify the seats because the pilot went down off the coast and he broke his legs and his arms and everything because how fast he was going when he had to eject. So they were trying to implement systems to try to like restrain your legs and stuff just to lock you in place so your arms and legs aren't flailing. But it was one company who runs all of that. I can't remember, it was so long ago. I can't remember which company it was, but they were the only ones who dealt with it. I don't know if it's changed since I've gotten out. I've been out over 10 years, but it was just that one company who had the contract with them for those systems.
Yeah.
So when you get out, if those slots are full and they're 99% of the people are civilians,
ain't nobody
who
leaving
just
those
work that
slots.
system. It's nobody leaving from my career through who's worked that aircraft.
That's right.
Or worked all of these systems on these different aircraft their whole life or their whole working life as a kid to an adult. Because I went in as a kid and became an adult when I was in it. None of them are getting that job. So, and then those spots are filled by civilians. So that doesn't count when you get out the military.
Yeah, it doesn't translate.
So I get out and there's nothing for me.
Yeah.
So I say, okay, let me get my associates while I'm in here. Let me clip this stuff. Let me test this stuff out. I'm clearing these dang on tests like it ain't nothing. Get my associates. I get out. Later on, I go get my bachelor's. Later on, I go get my master's. Because that's what I'm thinking. You get that degree, you in there, you good. They look for people with these degrees. No, that's not the case.
Yeah.
They want that degree, but you got to already be in there because they want that degree to maybe push you a little bit further. I mean, you get that promotion, maybe if you got that degree. That ain't even always the case.
Well,
you might get that promotion degree, but it does help you out. Gives you a little bit more points.
Would you say, then I know this is going to be ugly, I'm going to say this. Would you say that one of the things I would say about the degrees, sometime even when you go get a master's degree, it ain't about what you know. It's about who you know.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you know what I'm saying? So
Definitely.
really, because I know, being out here in this world, man, I'm gonna tell you, in the civilian world, I've known people with master degrees in doctrines, and I'm gonna tell you, they dumb as shit.
Yeah, for real.
And I can't believe. So I know they got that job because
They knew somebody.
They knew somebody.
Yeah.
And I
Okay,
can
well,
and I can
let me
agree with
ask
See,
that.
that's
Hold up.
another subject too. You talk about
let's
nepotism
move.
in the
Let's
Let
move
Rocky
on to
get
the
in.
next
All right.
subject. Yeah, we can. Let's
Or
move on to the next
or you know what? Or let me just say this right here, and I want to be the first to tell y'all, I'm not a racist person at all. Okay, but real is real. You could have that degree, but if your skin color ain't right,
Yeah, that's always the case.
and I'm not a racist person at all. I don't give a fuck, But I know the realistic risk. I'm real about it. Sometimes your skin color does matter.
Yeah.
All right. So let's
Go ahead,
move
Rock.
on to the next subject. Because the next subject was, do you have the right to complain about a wage after you have accepted the job?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me start that one off too. Let me start that one off, fellas. Give me a second. Because I just started the new job. I got hired. I'm thinking they looking at my resume. Okay, this dude been in the military. He black. All his drivers black. He might be able to. They don't like us white folks a little too much. So let me bring this black dude in. He might be able to make it run a little bit smoother. Okay, cool. You hire me at this level. All right, I'm cool with the pay and all that. But you didn't tell me that you're restructuring. Like you fired all these people, got kicked out of, like you fired so many people. So basically, you're running a company that runs billions of dollars. Well, I ain't gonna say billions, but let's say hundreds of millions of dollars a year. I got a skeleton crew. What I'm starting off with, my warehouse workers, people I ain't in charge of. I'm doing my best to work with my drivers, with my warehouse workers, not even mine. They belong to somebody. I ain't gonna say belong. Let's not put it that way. But they work for somebody else. They're slacking. What can I do? But I'm getting the calls from these salesmen. I'm getting the calls from these because I'm trying to. Because a lot of the time I want to talk to the people on the job too. So I'm not talking about. I'm not even trying to have the time. I'm not trying to talk to the salesmen who are promising them stuff without saying shit to me. Because these salesmen go promise, oh, we'll get this shit out there this day, this time, this time. Nah, dog, talk to me. But I'm dealing with all this stuff as up and coming. Basically, it's almost like you restarted the whole damn process, but you got hundreds of contracts. So yeah, I can say, yeah, I should be able to protest that pay because what you told me and when I got here and what I really experienced, how it really is because of where we're at. Yeah, you should have hired me on for more money because I'm dealing with way more than any other branch or anybody else who's probably making a lot more money than me because of that color of that skin. So yeah, I can agree with that because I
So
mean
you
just that
say
level.
after you accept the job, you said you still have bartering. You still can bother your wage.
I think you
Yeah.
should be able to do that because
Okay.
the employer is gonna tell you, oh yeah, we're just restructuring, we're trying to do this, trying to do that. You didn't tell me y'all ain't had shit going on. Now I gotta build something up from scratch on my own and try to make it work for y'all fucking program. Yeah, we gotta renegotiate at that point. You know what I mean?
So kind of a similar situation a little bit. So yeah, I took the teaching job, and it was more than what I was making, and I kept getting pay raises, and then you hired somebody else, total different department, same level as me. Well, not the same level as me. Hell, they knew because when you work for the state, it's about your years of service. So my problem is this guy coming in, he's making more than me. So I'm wrong. I say, okay, here I am. I done over dedicated myself again. Here I'm in the same situation I was with my last company. I didn't complain about my pay. I didn't even go and say I need more money. I didn't ask for it. What I told my manager, I said, you know what? You can expect me to be leaving soon. That's what I told him. I'll be leaving soon. And again, I tell anybody, if you make yourself valuable, if you do what you're supposed to do on a daily basis, and you make yourself valuable, I don't care the color of your damn skin. You what? You control what's going to have the outcome this time. So when I said I was about to leave, next day I get an email from HR. What are they doing? They're increasing my pay because I told this dude I was about to leave. But I'm still unhappy because I'm not just talking about for me. I'm talking about for my other co-workers also. He still is making more than what people who've been here 20 years is making. And you give me this dumbass thing that, well, we got to pay him this money because we need to bring him in. No, sir. Then you take care of the people who are here first, right? You take care of the people who are here, right? And then you can pay him the money that you want to pay him to get him in. Don't bring him in making more money, because see, the thing about the state, if y'all don't know, anybody listening, the thing about the state is you can see people's money. You can see what people make. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my co-workers. Now, everybody who's been there longer than me, they should be making more money than me. But a dude who just walked through the door, nah, bro. But
I can add to that one too when you're done.
Yeah. But you know, outside of professional jobs, so like if Clyde, if I hire Clyde and I say, Clyde, I'm gonna pay you $18 an hour, and I didn't do
I'll be happy.
I didn't do what Jared went through. I'm not restructuring or nothing. My expectation is you're gonna go out here and you're gonna work for them $18 an hour. Don't get behind my damn back telling me, talking to your co-workers and stuff about you ain't making enough and think I'm not gonna hear it, because I'll come right back to you and say, this is what you agreed to. If you want more money, you will have to do more to get it. That's what I'll always say.
All right. Well, I'm with you on that one. I put it like this. I think it was when I was in school, it was higher tenure. I can't remember what the exact name was. It. If you're hired earlier, you cap out at a certain point. And for a lot of these jobs, even the last job I was in when I was receiving at Tractor Supply, they had a lady who had been in that company for they said she was there for 10 plus years. She was making less than me, like substantially, because she hit her highest hit. She can't make any more unless you quit and hopefully get rehired. I'm not sure how that system works. I never really dived into it, and that screws a lot of people. I got somebody in the state right now. The dude might be leaving because his cousin got hired on, and his cousin makes as much as he does, even though he's been there for years and years. Your pay scales change, everything changes at that point. So if you've been working there for years, like I say, you hit that level where, yeah, this is where you started, this is where you cap. So either you can quit and reapply and hopefully get reaccepted, or you got to bite the fucking bullet. It's wrong. It's not right at all. I agree. The people who've been there longer should be making more money. There shouldn't be a cap on what you make. You could be a job 20 years, and you got somebody walking in the door who's doing the same exact thing you're doing, and they're making at least even matching you, or just maybe a little bit lowering you. It's not right. But that's how that system works with that. Like I said, my driver's steady complaining. I got a driver who got a second job. This dude come drive for me, and then he go flip burgers at Wendy's. He said, I ain't making enough here. That man been there longer than me. You know?
All right.
But let's go. Let's move on.
All right, all right, let me go ahead and answer. I hadn't put my answer in on this right here. And the question is, after you sign that contract, should you be able to renegotiate your pay? Is that's
That's
the
what I
question,
said.
right? All right.
Yeah, that's the question.
So we've all been through a bunch of jobs. Everybody on this cast has been through a bunch of different jobs. Not necessarily in a specialty, like a job was a job at the time. And I want to take it back before I get into where we are now, the way I see it. So we go back when you were in high school. My first job in high school was Harris Teeter. I worked at Harris Teeter grocery store, man. Loved it because I could buy them Reeboks, you know what I'm saying? Because my mama didn't, we was at the pick and pay, you know what I'm saying, buying shoes and stuff like that, and I was tired of getting clowned.
Yeah. Heavy.
So I'm gonna go all the way back.
Your mama didn't need no Jordans.
Oh man, I honestly, Tony, man, Jordans wasn't even a vocabulary statement. The only person I knew that wore Jordans was Booty Simons, because Booty was pressing his mama, and Booty always had a nice sneaker collection, man. It was just ridiculous, It was so. But I mean,
Eric could have been a millionaire right now if he'd have took care of him.
My first, if he would have took care of him, he would have sold them sneakers. Booty had everyone that came out, but for I'm just saying it. So way back then, from where I came from, and where we all came from, we came from a different society. We came from a different system that's in effect, So my job at Harris Teeter, and I was bringing home. Let me see what my paychecks look like, man. Shoot. And I'm gonna include my tips. I think I was probably making $200 a week, maybe $250 a week, on some good stuff.
You balling.
And I'm in high school. That's enough to buy clothes back then, because jeans wasn't. You'd have to. Jeans wasn't $50 for some jeans.
Now cross colors was kind of expensive, bro.
They didn't have the it was all the Levi's. You know what I'm saying? You jump on them Levi's. I think Dickies cost more. The working man clothes cost more back then too. But I gotta look at it. I had to look at it, man. I didn't see a lot of these name brands come around. Well, I saw them, as I got older, but I didn't, compare. But I knew what we was wearing in school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, Harris Teeter was my job then. It was my first job, and I loved it. I loved it, and I thought, and I felt that I was being paid enough money at the time. There wasn't no renegotiating, no contracts, and none of this right here. I was happy to be out of the house, kind of working the job, because it made me feel important, not just to me, but bringing in the little bit of money that I was getting. But back then, that's pretty good money I look at. So I want to say the state of the economy and the state of what we're looking at right now, especially with coming from that little job at Harris Teeter to now where we're sitting here, and I've held several jobs and several positions doing different stuff, and my expertise was just getting better. I kept going to school, kept learning new things. So I'm looking at it this way. The honest truth to me is what we have right now, like our parents were able to accomplish a lot more with the salaries that they had to be able to own all that land, to be able to set up generational wealth, because now everything's about generational wealth. Now you got all these new people talking about how to generate generational wealth. And you looking at these podcasts, you're looking at these TikTok videos and all this other stuff, but the value of the dollar and the value of someone's knowledge is not the same as it was back then. It just wasn't the same. So they were able, our parents and our, they were able to accomplish a lot more in a simpler life without all the added technology and all the other headaches that we have to go through. They were able to accomplish a lot to put us in a position to where we can now say, well, you know what? We need to be paid more, which is really a huge thing, which is really huge. And I honestly 100% think that you should be able to renegotiate any contract right now if you're looking at that company and what they do, what they provide, and what that company is right now. So I really do believe that is where we are now. But I'm just looking at back at the essence where we used to be able to go to G Mart and we used to have penny candies. We can remember penny candies. We can remember that because we were a part of that. We were a part of that, So so let's look at let's look at what really is going on. The dollar in which we hold, in which we want that money. We work harder for that money because it's not doing as much as it used to do. Back when in the land of good and plenty. When we used to have, I like to talk to my sister about this. When we used to have honeysuckles, you can go over there and pull the honeysuckles off the trees, the little white bud flowers, man. Pull a little stem out and it had a little bit of honey on it. We used to play football in the fields, and chew on the red sour weeds. We used to have scuffernines and bullets. They used to grow wild all over the place. People would pull over on the side of the road to go pick a bunch of plums and bullets and stuff like that. We don't have that. We don't have that anymore. Like, we were being provided what we needed then, and we were okay. We didn't need a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? We didn't need a whole lot. So I can say this is how I try to gauge what's going on right now. Then our parents were able to do a lot more with the little bit that they were getting, even though, like, Pop used to pick cotton in the fields and they try to, you know what I mean? And they get the 75 cents and they get the big pack of bologna, you know what I'm saying? And it was, and they go get the bread and that's what they ate. And it was, they were able to survive in that culture back then versus the culture that we live in now. We're more refined, if you want to put it in that sense. So we're more refined now, but everything that we do, it's always something that just keeps you from getting to that point. We will never, what we have right now would never, ever, ever be able to add up with what they were able to do with the little bit of money they had. Me and my sister used to be live right there on Tally Adams Road in a little trailer, and Mama used to heat the oven with the burner with the stove. Turn the stove on, and we stand by the stove before we go to the bus stop. So I'm looking at my times versus the times that we have now, and I can't really put a pinpoint on anybody's weaker or stronger or anything like that. I look at it from what the dollar was then versus what the dollar does now, even with everything that we have and all that we've been through, being as educated as we can, finding out the facts, and trying to work with people. So I think our connection kind of failed. We got disconnected somewhere between then and now. We got disconnected. The wealth gap has been very disconnected because the dollar really doesn't pronounce itself like it did then. It's just not the same same value.
Yeah, but I don't. One of the things I tell people is, you got people who are invested more now in the stock market and stuff, and these corporations. We have to remember, these corporations are now they have to answer to their shareholders, and so if you were a business owner and you have shareholders you have to answer to, brother, you're gonna make those decisions and you're gonna raise those prices because you can't get people to invest in your company if you're not turning a profit.
And that's the thing we're looking at. So we need to look at those.
The problem
is the mom and pops. We got to look at the mom and pops. We got to look at
come on, let's talk about our culture now. When there's a recession, black people don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say it like that. Y'all who listening, if we have a recession, do we care? No, we don't care.
We've been in a recession.
We've been in a recession.
Our
life is a fucking recession, right?
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. Shit, it don't bother me. When they said 2008 we was in a recession. Yes, my wife lost her job, but guess what? When I bought my house, I bought this house first adult big purchase I made, first big adult idea I had. I said, you know what? What if my wife lost her job? I need to be able to pay for this house by myself. So I bought this house based on I could afford it if my wife lost her job. The recession came, she lost her job, no problem. She's sitting there worried about it. Hey, we kept our daughter fed every night. There was because we always in that mode.
We've always been that way.
We always been
That's
that
what
way.
we
We in
do.
that
Black
way.
people are very resilient.
We are resilient.
We are very resilient.
Yeah.
We are resilient. And people, and I would honestly tell you, I think a lot of middle class and lower middle class Americans, you know, who you think get greatly affected, we're not affected. So I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about I know white families too. You can have a reception, they don't care. It doesn't affect them because we don't have all our money in a 401k, which we'll talk about that later. Please, people need to stop doing that dumb shit.
Yeah, that's another story.
That's another
podcast.
401k is a waste of time.
That's another.
Let me be the one to tell you, when you go to get that money, the federal government is doing what?
Taxing you.
But it's the federal government gonna hand you your ass.
Shoot, I got a goddamn example of it. So I'm
Well,
gonna
shit.
leave it. We'll talk about that on another one.
Yeah, I read it. That boy hit me with 20% easy.
Huh?
I left my last job. They hit me with 20 easy. Like, God damn.
Government gonna hit you 20. Government gonna hit you for 20, and then the job gonna hit you for 10.
Mm-hmm. What's you right ahead? Well,
In total, I gave up 44%.
Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah.
Of my gains.
Oh yeah.
44% of my gains was gone.
No, man.
I sat there and said to myself,
I'm
what
gonna
the hell did I do this
tell
for?
my story on this podcast right here. I'm gonna put that shit all the way out there. I'm gonna do that shit. I ain't doing it tonight, but I'm gonna put my shit out there.
I already know what I'm talking about.
Exactly what you talking about. I know. I'll put everything out there. Just if anybody can learn anything from it, take it and roll with it. But when I
left my job, I told my wife, I said, "Shit, we about to go and build us a new house."
Bro, it was fat. The accounts was fat. Everything it was a fatted calf, and they gutted that goddamn calf just instantly.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Better gonna get it. You got your penalty for drawing it out early and all that other bullshit. White tape. Yeah.
They get back more off of 401k than because like I honestly, man, I honestly looked into it, like how many people actually cashed out their 401k, and I wanted to hear their stories. And I couldn't find that shit. And YouTube was the college of YouTube was the thing. So man, I looked in a whole lot of that right there, and I was like, ain't this some shit? I can't really find nothing. Everybody want to give you advice on how you can secure your money and all this other stuff. But bro, this thing happened. When this thing jumped off, it was a steal back from the American people. It was a steal back. They took a lot of that bread when I cashed out, and I had a gang of bread in there. When I cashed out, I was able to keep everything up and running in my position right now, you know, for the whole pandemic for 4 years. Easy. I was still rolling. I was still buying shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's a whole nother thing right there. I'll put it out there. But yeah, that's another one right there. But I'm gonna leave it at this right here because I know we getting late on time. It's 8:06, so we trying to keep it. But I want to put it this way right here. I really believe this is just my thing right here. What our people accomplished back then with the wages that they were getting, and I'm not saying that they didn't struggle to get them and all this other stuff, but they were able to really be more of a part of the American dream with what they were getting
than where we are now. Yep.
I
completely agree. Wait.
I must tell y'all that young people I want to say Jared, but you old as hell now. So, but young people,
Yeah,
the young generation, y'all, the young people, the people who are in the early 30s and 20s, they need to be out there protesting in the streets. They need to be out there protesting because they have been robbed of the American dream.
Oh yeah,
they have been robbed of the American dream.
It's gone.
I agree. Let me add to that. Let me add that one too, because like my brother said, shit. Like back then, you busted your ass for that money, but that money you made, even when I say my granddad was the nearest thing to a sharecropper I ever met, but he built up enough where he could buy his land. With the money he bought his land for, we'll never be able to buy that same amount of land for right there in the same spot.
Yep,
that's right.
But the thing is, too, we say we can be out there protesting. Yeah, we can, but we got to hit them where it hurts. And that's one thing I had a whole conversation with some few people last night, man. You got to hit them in their pockets. You ain't hitting them in their pockets, they ain't listening to shit you got to say. You can destroy. No. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. You fuck up a building, we got insurance for that.
Yeah.
Nigga, if we can get somebody, we can get black folks to by one motherfucker will say, let's not buy gas today.
That's right.
Monday.
That's
let's get the whole black across the US to stand behind one person. He say, let's not buy gas for Monday. And that'll fucking hurt them so bad.
That's right.
And that's when they hear it. Oh shit, they get in pockets. We gotta figure stuff out.
Here you go, Jared. Here you go.
Yeah.
Stop doing this right here. Don't buy that right there.
Mm-hmm.
Stop buying it every time it come out.
Stop buying days. Don't buy days. Don't fight for days over the fucking first release. That's what I'm saying. But that's the thing. That shit is so ingrained into us. That's why I was telling the folks Martin Luther King, and it's gonna have to be a different podcast episode anyway. But I was telling MLK was the last man who could do something like that, who could actually bring the country behind him. All black folks, they hear that message, oh shit, we ain't buying this today. Hey baby, we ain't buying this today.
I say this right here, bro.
I know because we black and we saying us, but I'm gonna have to also include white Americans.
Anybody.
Anybody can learn it, and the impact is even greater at that point.
You know how we can bring this in perspective. You know how we can bring this in perspective. Let's look at this. Let's bring this in perspective. Let's look at what happened to and I love Bud Light, my favorite drink, and I love Bud Light. I drink Bud Light. When they had that band with Dylan Mulvaney or whatever came on, and they tried to push this agenda. So our elected officials decided to push this agenda on whatever side. Now they started to suffer. They started to suffer because people stopped buying their product.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson is the newest one to fall into that right now.
Harley?
So Harley Davidson is the newest one to fall victim to that right now, because Harley, when they put in they put in policies that nobody really votes for. They put in these policies. It's like, okay, well, you can do that, but don't push it down my face. Like I say, if I think that every day,
don't ask, don't tell. You know that.
If I think that every day should be, we should always focus on, and we should be able to include those people. Should be Mexican, burrito, taco day. I don't just want Taco Tuesdays. I think that every day should be a part of that, and that's what we need to push that out there. Everybody needs to eat tacos and burritos every day, every single day. So now this is the agenda that they put out. Well, we can't leave these people behind because they, you can't just stop people from. We got to make everybody all inclusive on this. No, I want a steak on Tuesday. You can't eat steak on Tuesday because it's taco and burrito day. Where did you not understand that? You can go home, cook your steak, but in the public, you have to eat tacos and burritos. So this is where we're going. This is how trivial the shit that we're walking into right now. This is the thin line that we're walking into right now for all inclusive of everything. And they started it on their products, like when Harley Davidson took that hit and they showed Sturgis. And this was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Sturgis of all fucking motorcycle events, one of the baddest motorcycle events ever. They had Sturgis with an empty Harley Davidson booth. Nobody was going to Sturgis. It was hundreds of thousands of people at Sturgis. Nobody went to the booth just because of the policies that they push out there. They're like, stop shoving it down our face. Because people are like, we'll accept some of the shit, but don't make it seem like that this is what it's gotta be. And we have to accept it this way. So you put it on these brands, and these brands start to suffer, and then they be like, well, we got to pull back a little bit. We losing all our money.
That's a whole nother podcast episode too.
Yeah, that's hey, listen, fellas.
Yeah.
We are past our hour and a half. We got to get out of here.
Hey, I'm sorry, but you know, hey,
but listen,
DEI does need to be out. But Harley Davidson got hit with two things. The
what you got?
DEI, and then they took their division to China. Well, listen here, Harley Davidson is American made. That's an American.
I got one too. Before we go, I got one too about Bud Light. I don't know if it's true. I ain't fact checked it. Real quick.
Hey, we will add you to the stage on the next one. You in there.
Yeah. Hey. Hold on. Real quick before we go though. I don't know. I haven't fact checked and none of that. But I heard with the Bud Light thing, because Bud Light showed a shitload of their shares. They didn't have a whole lot of the parent company. And I heard after that stuff, the shares dropped and they were buying it back.
Yeah.
They were buying them shares back after that controversy. I don't know for a fact. I didn't fact check anything. I didn't Google. I didn't dark web. I didn't do none of that shit. But that's what I heard somewhere. They were buying them shares back. Oh shit, it's low as hell. We gonna get them shares back. They sold a chunk of their company, almost all the company, if not the whole fucking company. You know. Oh yeah, let's put this dude up there. Shit, we know shit with him. Anyway, next time.
John Deere did the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway,
John Deere did the same thing.
Get your ass off my phone. Get your ass off my phone.
Hey, hold on, before we go, closing remarks. Jared.
Closing remark. Let's see. Hey, know you like I will piggyback on some of the stuff I heard. I came in late, but know your worth and honestly fight for it. But be in a position where you can fight for it, where you don't get the short end of the stick. I can walk off my job and still be good till I find another job right now, where I'm at right now.
That's right.
So know your worth, but make sure you're in a position where you can work it to where you can find something else. That's all I got to say.
Hey, enough said right there, and that's my closing. That was my closing argument. And
go on, finish it up there, Tony.
No, I mean that's just the truth. You know, if you know your worth and make sure that you solidify yourself in that position that you are, you can take them talents somewhere else. And don't be afraid. Walk out on faith.
Exactly.
Huh? Sometimes you just have to walk out on faith.
Amen.
You may not have it.
Amen.
You may not have that job, but you walk out on faith. I guarantee you're gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed you.
What Skyrocket said, so I'm gonna go ahead and put mine in. I think he muted itself.
And I got one more after you done.
Rocket.
Promo.
Yeah, he muted.
No, I'm here. All right. I'm up.
All right. You want me to go ahead and go? Because Jared got one more he want to say after that.
Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, this is one thing that I like about this right here. We get in the podcast. We're around our peers. We all have different views about a lot of stuff. Being able to talk about these things really brings a lot of a lot of things to light. So let's keep our opinions rolling. Let's say what we have to say on this thing right here. We keep it respectful amongst each other because we love each other. We're all friends. We've always been friends. We've known each other forever. Anybody that wants to get in, if y'all have any topics that you would like to put in, say anything about, hey, let us know. We'll talk about pretty much anything, honestly. But we've been from the last show to this show. It seems like we had to piggyback last show to this show because I guess there were some things that we all really needed to talk about, and we're headed in a direction in the world, and people see things coming from distances and stuff like that, and we want to be able to, try to give everybody, give you a chance to voice your opinion. The job market ain't the greatest right now. Everybody, I don't know anybody that's not having some type of problems right now. And honestly, we got to give it up to the Most High on that side of it, but stay on your grind, especially if you of us, by us, for us, like FUBU, you know what I'm saying? But stay on your grind, and we'll try to come up with some type of solutions together. But we are a team. We love each other, and we will still continue to do this right here. And anybody that wants to get involved, y'all let us know. But that's where we are, and we thank y'all for being here on the
World blow.
That's
Go ahead.
All right. I muted myself because I had some phone calls coming in. It's that time of the season for me to get ready to start this traveling bowling thing. So, I got a lot of phone calls coming in. But I'd like to thank everybody for coming out for another exciting episode of The Fellas. As you can see, this is a podcast that anybody can come on and voice your opinion on the subject that we're talking about. Now, from today, we talked about minimum wage, and part 2 was, do you have a right, or are you can you renegotiate your wage after you have accepted the position? There were some key points made on both sides, and I think majority say, yeah, if your job description don't align with what your contract said, you have the right to go back and renegotiate. Also, we talked about a little bit with Jared, because last week we talked about the military and they selling practices on how they sell the military to these young kids. So we went back and revisited that. But next week, we're going to have an exciting episode. You can go on the Buck Night Picks and Line page or any one of our fellows page, and you'll see the topic, because we still have a couple of topics we have to look at on what we're going to talk about. But this is a podcast that you can come on and you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you have a subject that you want us to talk about, just send in the comments and we'll address it. And we see that works well for us. We do not criticize. We do not tear down no one. We believe everybody has their own opinion on this podcast. This is not a one-sided podcast. This is a community. And we believe, because we are old, we believe it do take a community to build. It do take a community to build a child or other people up, because we might have knowledge that you don't have and that you might be seeking. Now, with that being said,
let me get in.
Go ahead, Jack.
All right. Promo event. Hey, cornhole tournament. If you know me, you know Skyrocket, you know any of these fellas from around here on this podcast.
Hey, what is
cornhole tournament? This Saturday coming up. $10 entry. Just if you ain't got my number, you ain't there.
Watch this, Jay. I already booked my flight, bro.
All right. Well, come on down, bro. Well, shit, you my motherfucking party. Well, you my party.
Well, so is it bring your own partner, or are we doing blind draw?
Ooh, I think we should do a blind draw. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna do a blind draw. Yep, we're gonna do a blind draw. We're gonna do it the same way we did it last time. But yeah. If anybody is here listening, yo, come through. You ain't got my number. Hit up Skyrocket. Hit up anybody on this podcast. Get my number, and we're gonna do it. Huh? It's gonna be right around the corner. You ain't gotta worry about problems, none of that shit.
I gotta defend my belt. I gotta defend my belt.
Well, if you ain't
I think that me and James should still be partners, so we could y'all random draw everybody else.
Hey, y'all still going? See, y'all push the podcast. Everybody try to go to bed. You gotta be up 4:45.
Like me and James,
we talk about this next podcast. Next podcast, let's say y'all lose to me.
I need to be able to defend my belt. Me and James.
We talk about this next podcast after y'all lose to me.
I bet
you ain't got time for this shit. Yeah, man, cut it off, man. Cut it off, man. Cut it off. Is it? No more talking.
And I'm talking to James.
No more talking. Hey, man, cut it off.
Hit us up about the pod. Hit us up about the cornhole tournament this week if you want to come in. It's gonna be blind draw, blind team draw. No matter if you want it or not, It's gonna be blind draw. We put your skills to the test. What time? Hold on, real quick, Jared. What time? We'll post the time and everything because he done left. All right. So once again, thank you for coming out. See y'all next week. We out. Peace.